So for the first part of our workshop, let's talk about what a two-page manga is. So as you know, a manga is read from right to left, top to bottom, and your eyes tracks across the page similar to an S curve. So these pages comes in sets of two called a spread. So readers should be able to immediately know which panel is next in the sequence. And parts of the spread also correspond to the Kisho Tenketsu structure. So you might be wondering, what is Kisho Tenketsu? Kisho Tenketsu is a Japanese storytelling format, which is a four-act structure. So Ki is the introduction, which sets up the scene and introduces the characters. Sho is the development, which builds upon the situation introduced in the Ki. 10 is the climax, which shows the peak or twist or an unexpected turn of events. And Ketsu is a conclusion, which wraps up the story, often the humorous or surprising ending. So here's an example of a two-page manga spread by our students. So notice how they follow the Kisho Tenketsu structure that we have explained earlier. So this one is made by our student Yuan. And then, so as you can see, it developed uh in a way going to the last part, which is the Ketsu. So it also follows the S reading curve. Okay. So now that you've seen the example of our student, it's now your turn to make a two-page manga. So for the part two, we are challenging you to create a two-page manga spread during this workshop. So for our activity, all you need to do is to create a two-page manga based on the prompt on the next slide. You have 1 hour to finish. We also require you to follow these rules. The plot of the story has to end within 2 pages. You must follow the Kisho Tenketsu structure. It must be read from right to left. Panels must follow the S flow, and inking and effects is optional. If time permits, you are free so to add them. And then submit them in a spread, meaning 2 pages, one image side by side. Does everyone understand the rules? Type I'm ready in the chat if you are ready and if you understood our rules. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Okay, that's good. That's good. I'm seeing everyone ready here. Okay, if you guys are ready, then I'll be presenting our prompt for today's activity. So the prompt is your OC finds a hidden store. I'm also sending in the template here in the chat so you can just download it and use it if you are doing it in digital. There we go. So you have 1 hour to finish this. Let me just bring up my timer. Okay, let's hide all of those brushes away. I have a lot. Okay. So first one is from Andrea. I believe it's from Andrea, right? Are you here, Andrea?
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome. So yeah, I'll just quickly give a breeze through on this one. So the initial pacing was good. However, I think it would be better if you put it this way. So on this one, you don't. It's good that I didn't need any more context because the prompt is well made. The pacing is also good as well. However, I what I would do is maybe I would switch these two. I would put his face on the third panel. And then since he is freezing, maybe add in some manpu of him breathing hard. And also add in some manpu here to keep it consistent. And also when you are doing speech bubbles, if it's in Japanese, it should be in vertical. Vertical speech bubbles, ideally.
Yeah. And also, I think that's a tangent right there. The first speech bubble.
Yeah,
It's aligned with the panel line.
yes.
Yeah, our mangaka mentor highly discourages tangents like that where the lines what do you call it? A lot where the lines of your composition align with,
Completely
yeah,
with the panels, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
or other elements. So be careful on tangents as well. So you can divide it. It can be it's like that, and then so cold here. So that there's the panel flow. Or you can maybe put the speech bubbles around here, right? You can start here and then go here. And then for this one, it's also in a tangent in the sense that it's meeting the panel border. So if you're saying I need something warm, you can just put it here. Don't make it go above the border because kind of like perfectly meets the edges of the panel. You're making tangents. And then for this one, instead of him being the foreground, you can make it that is a bit around here. Emphasize the store more because that's the focal point, right? You want to show the store. So if you're going to establish the store, you can keep him off screen, just show uh the store itself and the the sales lady here. So maybe here put in the hanging clothes here and maybe put the sales lady here. And based on the 180 rule, she should be here. Or perhaps the other side. It would depend how you place them. So initially, maybe you can make in a floor plan of the store. So if there's a storefront, the lady is here or here, your next panel should follow the 180 rule. So if he enters and she is here, you can put the welcome here. And you can opt not to do this one. So it can be just welcome to store, how may I help you, stuff like that. And then you can proceed with your last panel of him asking if they have a size L. Okay? Okay, so next. Do you have any questions, Andrea, on this one?
Yeah, thank you very much. I definitely feel like I rushed some things here, especially with the speech bubbles. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate everything you said. I thought of that also. Um,
Mm-hmm.
here, I the composition of the shop, I still have difficulties understanding what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if
So
you can. Yes.
so for the store, instead of him being on the foreground, you can completely remove him. Just
I'm
make
sorry,
just
Coach Kim. Perhaps
uh,
can you explain what foreground means first?
oh,
Yeah.
foreground is like the main the one that is near the camera, the nearest in the camera. So that's the foreground. So in here, the character is in the foreground. So you can completely remove him and just do the establishing shot showing the inside of the store with the woman presenting and welcoming the main character.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, the main character takes up too much space in
Yes.
this panel, right? And it takes
Mhm.
away from the main point that, oh, the characters entered the shop and it seems to be a clothing shop, but it doesn't receive the emphasis that it should deserve in that moment because the character is taking up more space in the panel, which shouldn't be the case if you're revealing that the shop that they entered is actually a clothing shop, you know? So that's why Kim, Coach Kana said, um, make it an establishing shot, right?
Yes. Yes. That is correct. Yeah.
Right.
Right. Thank you. And isn't it better if I put the main character where the other lady in the first panel, the first page, at the bottom, like a surprise face or I don't know, something to emphasize the um, that the main character is
Mm-hmm.
discovering something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can do that too. You can. That's a good point. That's a good idea. You can maybe have her look and have this reaction, perhaps. And then going to the next page, she'll be welcoming the main character. Yes, that's a good idea as well.
Right. Thank you very much. I love the feedback.
Thank you as well. So next one is this one's from let me find it. I'm trying to remember the name, but with the many submissions. So let
Maybe
me
just
just
raise your hand.
yeah.
Do
If
you
if
recognize
this is
your
your
work?
submission, if this is your submission, please do raise your hand or unmute.
That's me. Hi.
Hi Byron, hello. Thank you for sending this in. So I'll be giving you a quick feedback on this one.
Okay.
So for this one, you have established it well. However, I saw that the panels don't line up neatly in a sense that they look like they're
Mm,
clashing with each other. So the panel flow doesn't feel correct. So if
that
this is
I.
your first panel and then this is your second panel, right?
Hmm.
Am I correct?
Yes.
And this is the third one and this is the
Yes.
fourth one. Okay.
Definitely.
Okay, so first off, when you are creating panels, make sure that they're completely aligned. So
Mm,
if your main character arrives here, maybe make sure that they are aligned with each other. So if you're establishing that he is seeing the hidden store, you can opt to put this one on a different part. So blow up the first panel, make it here,
okay.
and then your main character, could be here instead.
Okay. Okay.
And then as he enters, you can put the second panel here, and then your third panel here,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
then
can
maintain this one.
Coach Kim, just pointing out the gutters, right? Because the original manga didn't have any gutters or spaces
Yeah.
between panels. So it's
Mm-hmm.
important
Yeah.
to add those spaces just so for better panel organization as well.
Makes
Yes,
sense.
definitely. Definitely. Thanks for bringing that up. So, since goes inside, you can put in a gutter here. The gutter should be larger since there's time passed. And then for this one, it's in the same room already. The panels here, like the vertical one, can be a bit tighter,
Mm,
and then the vertical one will be bigger since on the second panel he still enters the store.
It's all on how I divide the space, both in the
Yes, yeah,
story and yeah, okay.
yes, you have to manage the space well with the limited space that you have.
Understood.
Mhm. And on this one, on the second page, it's again, you can also like improve on the spacing of the gutters here,
Okay.
but maintain this one. I like the pose on this one.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would, if he is here, so this is like on the side part of the store, right?
Say
Like on
again?
this is the wall, right, of the store, the one he's looking at.
Uh, no, unfortunately. That was supposed to be another panel line, unfortunately. I
Oh,
was
it's
just,
another panel.
yeah, I wasn't very thinking of the interior as
Mm-hmm.
much.
Mm-hmm. 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 Got it. Because it looked like it feels like it's another. It feels like it's a wall. So got it.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Hmm.
No worries. No worries. So maybe what you can do here is maintain this one. So just make sure that the panels are divided well. And for
Okay.
this one, instead of him doing a thumbs up, maybe put in a spark here,
Okay.
or like a man poo, or like say a dialogue perhaps saying oh or something, stuff like that.
All right.
And then here, instead of I have something for you, maybe you can make it more comical, like the smoke here. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
oh, I can see that.
I have just the right thing for, I have just the right thing for you. You know, you can make it in a way that stuff is, being thrown away at him. So again, with the gutters here, make sure that it's wider.
Okay.
And then this one is thinner. Yeah,
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, man.
no worries on that.
I really liked how Coach Ken has suggested the instead of actually showing the character rummaging in that
Mhm.
middle panel there and the second page, just show them just um a cloud of smoke and like pops of body parts just randomly pop out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Just
it's
to
the
random
make
things sticking out of the
Mhm.
cloud
yeah,
and such.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Just to
Yeah,
make it even more hectic, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
You have to
That's fun.
exaggerate it. Yeah, you
Yeah.
have the purpose of this is to exaggerate the movement more
Mm.
because
Okay.
it's given on what's happening on the next page, on the next panel. So exaggerate this one so it looks very hectic. You can actually kind of like add in more items thrown at at the person. Yeah. So it's like
Okay.
it's constant.
Yeah.
So any questions so far?
Ooh, interesting question. None at the moment,
Mhm,
unfortunately.
mhm. Got it. So yeah. Thank you for submitting this one.
Well, thanks for the constructive criticism.
No worries. So next is this one. I believe this one's from Kalia. Is Kalia here? Let me check. Kalia, are you here? Or are you disconnected? Kalia, I think she has been connected and disconnected. Yeah, Kaylee is here, I believe. So, mhm. Kaylee, can you give me more context, especially on the last panels? No, I mean Kalia. It's from Kalia, not Kaylee. Kalia. Okay.
Kalia, wait. Let me see if I can ask her to unmute, or maybe she's
I think
away
she.
from her
Yeah,
desktop at this moment.
probably.
But yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Is she here? Hello.
I think she's here, but she's
Oh,
on
she's.
mute. Yeah.
Oh, she got disconnected. Okay, she's coming back in. Let's give her a minute.
Okay.
Let's give her a
Okay.
chance. Hello, Kalia.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello. So can you like give me more context on the second page because it's a bit rough and I'm trying to think. I'm trying to find out what happened on the second page.
Oh, the second page.
Yeah.
They took they took her to the store and then they ate food.
So this is so just please do correct me if I'm wrong. So this is the first page.
Yeah, I just realized when I was drawing, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I switched the
Mm-hmm.
pages up.
And this is second page. Okay. So this is from left to right, not right to left, or right to left.
Right to left.
Right to left. Got it. So let me just quickly change this first. So just a quick reminder when you are doing two-page spreads, make sure that the orientation is right to left, meaning the first page should always be on the right side. Okay, there we go. So now that gives me more context. Okay, got it. So I like how it's shown here, like he's like the main character is coming from a forest. Is this a forest? Am I correct?
Yes.
Or and then they hear something and see something. That's good. I like the progression on this one. This one's really good. And then on this one, hmm, did she did she caught up to the one she's chasing? Like on the panel here. Hello?
Yes.
So what happens here in this panel? I'm kind of like confused on these two.
So basically, she's in a bush because she's fighting, and
Mm-hmm.
then the main character gets her from the bush.
Mm-hmm. Hiding? Okay, got it. So for this one on this panel, what happened here? It feels like someone is slumped. Is that correct?
Yeah. She realized she can't escape.
Oh, okay. Got it. Got it.
Oh, so is she? Sorry, just to clarify, is are they out of the bushes now at that point? Like, were they pulled out? I'm confused.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Okay, so they are out of the bushes here. Got
Okay.
it. Got it. So I think the pacing here is good. It's just confusing on this one because maybe the stuff aren't lining up easier to understand, to register. But I do get the part on this one. So maybe what I would do on this one is that for here, I would put oops, I would put the character here. Maybe like the POV should be inside the bush.
Yeah.
So it maybe they could be kind of like scared, like holding their mouth. And then here, what you can do then is like on the same bush, what you can do is make her head pop in. Like delay the pop in of her head onto the bush. Like make her pop in here and then give her a spooked reaction. Like the very, very shocked one. And then as it develops, right, it goes to this one. So ideally some time would pass, right? So you can maybe do a vertical panel just to cut this space here where she is kneeling down and then the character is here. You can kind of like change the camera angle here. So she's kneeling down, the character is up here. So she's like begging for her life, right? So maybe stuff like that. And then perhaps here, what you can do is you can opt to remove this one. So you can opt to remove this one and just focus on these two panels. So include a bigger gutter here because time has passed and introduce her place here, which is followed by the dining table. And then in the end, they're enjoying a meal together. Yeah, perhaps that could be a better approach here. So yeah, any questions so far?
No.
Hmm? Uh, are you good?
Yes.
Awesome. So yeah, thank you, Kelly, for sending this as well.
All
Yeah.
right. So that's pretty much it for submissions today. But really quick, Coach Kana,
Mm-hmm.
can you explain the purpose of dividing the panel, the vertical
Mm-hmm.
panel here,
Okay.
the very
Yeah, got
first,
it.
the
Yeah.
very first panels for the second page? Like, what is
So
the purpose
usually,
of that? Yeah.
it's for time passing. So usually in manga, the when we do time passing, it's always a horizontal one, right? We usually do horizontal passing to set things up. However, there are some cases when you have like limited space and you still want to show the whole scene in a cinematic view. That is also like time passing. So that way, so what I did there is that I made the panel a bit bigger, but I cut it in half to show that it's cinematic. So what you can it will guide your eye in a sense that you will look at here first and then here. So it feels like you're moving the camera towards the the left side. Yeah. And in a sense it kind of like covers the whole the whole scene itself.
Right. All right. So now I guess I would like, if everything is clear, I guess I would, if you guys have any questions about any of the things that our coach explained today, feel free to send them in chat. So if you guys want to send, if you guys have any questions, send them in chat now. In the meantime, I would just like to call on a couple of students who would like to share some of their learnings, I guess, like main takeaways from the feedback so far. You can unmute or raise your hand if you want to unmute and talk, or you can just send your takeaways in chat as well and we can read them aloud. All right. So, yeah, any learnings or anything that you want to clarify? Either is good. Okay, Shanard wants to say something. Yes, Shanard, feel free to unmute.
Um, Hello. It's me.
Yeah,
Um, okay. Okay. One. So, are the hold on, give me a minute.
yeah, take your time, take your time.
Okay. So, what is it that you look for in taking in students? The reason I ask is because I myself am not a student of this program yet.
So your question is why we're taking in students?
No, I was asking, what do you see? What do you look for in students that you are
Oh,
considering taking in?
okay. So basically, students, base requirement 18 years old and above, and willing to put in the time to actually go through the program, right? The program is a self-paced program, but there is only a limited time in the program where you can just interact with our mentors and actually get one-on-one coaching, right? So we give, it depends, that's why it's a case to case basis. It depends on the situation of every student that comes into the program, and we adjust the training regimen per student depending on their needs and stuff like that. So we're taking in artists of any skill level, whether you've made manga before or you've never made manga before, if you've never drawn before, we do take in students like that as well. And as long as whatever skill level you're at, as long as you are serious about making manga and you want to make this, if you want to level up and actually make progress and finish a manga and possibly compete in contests or self-publish or even publish, get a chance to publish with publishers in Japan or maybe in just in the US or foreign publishers. The bottom line is you're serious about making this into a career or becoming a serious mangaka, right? So that's pretty much it. People who are 18 years old and above and serious about making manga. Yeah.
Right. Thank
Is
you for
that
answering my question. And if anime has taught me anything, it's that anything can be done with enough time and effort.
yeah. Yeah, good words, good words. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that, Shanard. Now, hopefully that answered your question. We'll entertain another question from Lauren, who's raising her hand. Feel free to unmute.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you speak up a bit? I can hear you, but it's pretty low.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. My question was, what exactly do publishers look for when it comes to manga?
Oh, we just recently released a video on that on our channel, which you can check out. It's a video about what editors specifically are looking for. So, and editors are representatives of publishers. So, you can check out our latest video on our channel. But main takeaway is like a sneak peek. I do encourage you guys to check out the latest video on our channel to know the full details. But a sneak peek is editors look for people who can prove that they're serious about making manga and can prove that they have the discipline to commit to it and actually put in the work. That's like the main trait that editors are definitely looking for in aspiring creators, right? And in terms of technical stuff, if you want to get a chance to be published and work with publishers, they will require you to submit a portfolio of your work, and a manga proposal. So we do have a separate video as well on how to put together a good manga portfolio, of the kind of portfolio that'll actually turn heads and attract an editor's attention. So you can also check out that video on our channel. It's hard to miss. So yeah, I can refer you to those videos, and I'll send the links to those videos in chat um, right after this. Okay. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question, Lauren. Anyone else? Okay, we had someone else raised their hand. Rob Wright. Again, you guys, if you have any questions about the program, or just like random questions that are unrelated to the feedback, we can save them for the Q&A, because for now we just want to get people's takeaways, like what the main thing they've learned from the feedback. Just anything about the feedback, and about any questions about the feedback that the coach gave. We'll be entertaining those questions for now. Any other questions outside of that, we will be entertaining during the Q&A at the end. Okay. So Bree, yes, raising her hand. Hello, Bree. Yes, you can unmute. Okay. Aside from Bree, it seems like Bree is having trouble unmuting. Rob Wright. Rob Wright, who's raised their hand.
Hello.
Yes. Hello, Rob.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you just fine.
Awesome. So I was wondering, how can the shape of the panel affect the flow in storytelling?
Yes, I'm gonna leave that to Coach Kana. Coach Kana.
Got it. So the page of the panel depends. So if it's a normal vertical or like straight panel, it's usually a normal pacing. However, if you put it diagonally, it shows action or movement. So that's how it usually affects the pacing of it. Usually when you do slanted panels, there's movement and things are moving faster. Usually the pacing is dictated not only by the shape but also the gutters itself. So the longer the horizon, the bigger the gaps of the horizontal gutters are, that's more time is elapsing. Yeah.
Okay. So it just sort of speeds up the pacing if you make it horizontal, but vertical is sort of like slows it down a bit.
No, no, no. The meaning of horizontal gutters is that time is elapsed. So, for example, like a day
You're right.
has, like a few hours has passed. The bigger they are, the more indicated that it's shown where. So when you're switching from scene to scene, usually the horizontal panels are bigger. The
Gotcha.
gutters of the horizontal panels are bigger. Yeah.
All right. Well, that makes sense.
Got it. All right. Thank you
All
for
right.
that, Rob.
All
Oh,
right.
thanks
So
for answering.
Thank you so
no
much, Rob. We
worries.
also have a good takeaway from the YouTube chat from A25, who they got disconnected sadly, but they were in the Zoom earlier. So A25 says, as an overthinker, I learned that the best ideas work well when you simplify them down to one thing, especially in a short manga. Yes, keeping it simple is something that surprisingly a lot of beginners struggle with, because I understand, like, when you're passionate about a story and you're passionate about telling the kinds of stories you want to tell through manga, you can get overwhelmed with details and like be so over enthusiastic about world building and just building the details surrounding your world, and like sometimes people get lost and lose the plot when they're creating their first manga. They lose the plot and they lose like the main focal point of the story, right? So that's why it's really important when you're practicing making manga, what is the bottom line? Who is the main character? What is the main plot, and what is the main theme and message that you want to tell, and make sure you stick to it. And whatever is after that. The world, secondary characters should support that main plot line, right? So keep it that's one way that you can keep things simple, is to just focus on the main plot and the main message that you want to tell, and everything should follow naturally. All right. I think we also have another takeaway from Kaido. I can really shorter or longer help move the story along. Yes, you can okay, sorry to read this. Look at my panels in a way that can make them shorter or longer to help move the story along. So the size and shapes of your panels actually do contribute to how the flow of the story, right? As Coach Kana mentioned earlier, the passage of time can be visually drawn through just how big the gutters are between your horizontal panels, right? So the thicker your gutters, or the more the more space there are between your panels, the more time has passed, basically. So with details like that, that's one way you can experiment with paneling to depict time as well. And yeah, um, okay, another takeaway, definitely making sure the panels make sense, as well as sticking with the plot instead of adding extra. Yes, good takeaway, anime lover. The main thing is to always make sure that your story makes sense, and that other people can follow your story. I think earlier, if we could look at that last submission from Kalia, right? We had to ask questions because we had trouble following the story from, especially in the second page, because we were confused. So if there is confusion in how your story is interpreted and how your manga is interpreted, then you you should improve your paneling, and you need to do a better job of just, okay, how can I make this even clearer that people can easily follow along, right? So I think that's the main thing, that, okay, if I can understand this, then I need to get a second opinion and make sure someone else can understand it aside from me. And that's why we're here today. That's why we're in this workshop, is to learn from each other and see things that we may miss out on, just working by ourselves, right? All right. I think, oh yes, we have another question from Martin. Martin seems to be raising their hand. Let's go with the last takeaway from Martin, if they or he has any. I'm sorry, for assuming your pronouns, but yeah. Yes, Martin.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Uh, does it if we're showing about the story when example big thing big scenes and when it shows big scenes in the panel, like the panel has to be big and it emphasizes the setting and the character, like the character has to be drawn like big
Mhm.
and and like if it's emphasization, like emphasizes the plot ba, yeah, like
Yeah. So establishing shots. Yeah, that's an establishing shot. I think you're describing an establishing shot. When you start a manga, often the way to go is to start with an establishing shot. So an establishing shot shows the background, the setting of your scene, and your characters and where they are in that setting, right? That way, once you set up where each of the characters are in the scene and where they are, that informs how you're gonna lay out the rest of your panels for that scene, right? And also it could help having like a map of how the blocking of the scene, blocking is in like where everything is in the scene, can help you set up where your camera should be, and also avoid breaking the 180-degree rule, right? So yeah, that's really important. Establishing shots are really important that way. All right. I guess we have one last takeaway, and then before we move on, we have another takeaway from Kaylee. my takeaway, I think, would be the first thing you think of for an idea, just run with it and have fun. And I think that actually sped up my workflow. Exactly. Just run with it and have fun. I mean, whatever story you come up with, as long as once you have that idea, run with it and don't, especially for extra practices like this where there's a time limit. It's important to not overthink it and just run with it and see where it goes, right? Because the point of all these workshops and putting a time limit on it is to see how far you can exercise like your improvisation skills as well, and just like um improve your storytelling and how like you can be creative when put on the spot, right? So having that type of pressure can actually push aspiring manga artists to lengths that they never thought that they could go to. And this is the type of exercise that we always give our students as well, just to give them that extra push and give them that extra encouragement, you know. So yeah. And last thing, because I wanted to shout out Andrea as well, because she has been a repeat person at our workshops. I love your feedback. I take that I'm getting better in pacing and painting a picture of the story. I need to work on more on the technical aspect. Is it okay to publish the results of my pages after I incorporate the feedback you gave me? I'll do a video about it. Is something that you allow? Yes, that is totally okay, Andrea. I'm so glad that you feel good enough about our feedback, and it's always nice to see people take in the criticism and take in the feedback in a very healthy way, and just learn from it. You know, it's very important to have like that healthy sort of mindset when taking in feedback. So I'm glad that um you've managed to do that. And yes, it is okay to publish the results of your pages after you revise, so you can take away the notes from Coach Kana and revise your manga after this session if you want. And yeah, it's okay to share it as well. It's your work. Okay, we don't hold any control over the work that you guys make today. Okay, we're just here to read your mangas and just review. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. Coach Kana, do you have any last um takeaways, at least any main observations from the mangas that you've reviewed today?
I believe be mindful on the tangents and the gutters. That's the things mostly we saw earlier, the tangents and the gutters. So even if you're doing it traditionally, you can already practice it. So yeah, try to be mindful on that. If you're doing traditionally, use rulers. It's a good it's already good, like starting with learning how to uh do the gutters. Like look at the measures of your rulers and plan them out. If you don't have manga templates, uh just utilize your rulers. Just utilize the rulers. Make sure that those gutters are planned out so that you can denote the time efficiently. And yeah, make sure that your panels are aligned as well.
Right. So thank you so much, Coach Kana. Coach Kana is going to be staying for the Q&A until the end. So any questions, random questions, general questions, we will be entertaining after the Q&A, during the Q&A, sorry, rather. Now that you guys know how to make a 2-page manga, now I want to ask you guys, are you ready to take action and finally bring your manga to life? Are you goal-driven and ready to commit to making your manga dreams a reality? And are you a determined mangaka who wants to finally publish their first manga through self-publishing, joining manga contests, and pitching to publishers? If this is you, type yes in the chat. Okay, now I want to talk to the people who want to move beyond just this workshop. Okay, people who, okay, I've began practicing. I've been joining workshops. I've been joining these workshops for the past couple of weeks, past couple of months now, and I just want to move beyond just a chance of getting feedback, because not everyone gets feedback for all of the workshops, every workshops that we do. Only a few people get feedback, and as much as we want to give feedback to so many more people, like, we don't have enough time. We simply do not have enough time. So if you want to get personalized one-on-one feedback, is that something that you would be interested in, to just move beyond just these workshops, right? If that's you, then type yes in the chat. If it is you, and if you've answered yes to any of these questions, then we invite you to apply to our online one shot manga drawing program, right? Just like our students in our program, you'll learn everything from manga drawing basics to crafting a full one shot manga from start to finish. And this is what some of our students had to say. Some of our students' progress in the program. So here we have our student Charisse from making fan art. Before Charisse joined us, she was a huge Dragon Ball fan, and she'd only been making fan art of Dragon Ball and fan comics of Dragon Ball at that point, but she didn't really know how to make manga. So that's why she joined our program. She joined our program because she wanted to get better at making manga. And in just a couple of months, in just a month, she's moved on from making flat looking manga pages with one dimensional backgrounds and not so many dynamic scenes into more dynamic yonkoma manga. Like she started with yonkoma manga and now she's already moved on to creating 2 page and 4 page one shots and even working on her full length one shot currently as well. So if you want to be like Charisse, then I do encourage you guys to apply to the program. And we also have our student Joe, who actually went through I believe like a 5 year hiatus from drawing. He didn't draw for 5 years, and then when he saw our channel he started drawing again. And it's always nice to see Joe's progress in the program. And this is what he had to say: I think I've gotten better at explaining my ideas better as of late. So after not drawing for 5 years, Jaw's already gone back into the creative um mindset, and he's become more and more productive every day. And it's so glad to see his progress after taking such a long break from just drawing in general. And we also have our student Takari, who has improved so much since joining the program. And this is what she had to say. I looked over my previous SMA submission that I finished before joining this course, comparing my pages with recent manga. It's very clear that I learned a lot. And you can see like her first 2 pages from both her older SMA submission and her more recent SMA submission. And she said last year I didn't know what screen tone is, how to do paneling, didn't know much about perspective and anatomy, and I struggled literally with everything. It was a pain. This time I already knew that what I needed to do, and I had a refined process, and it was much easier, especially with the help of coaches. Now, if you guys want to make your time making manga more meaningful and more productive like our students, then I encourage you to join our online one-shot manga drawing program. And we're on a mission to help you publish your first manga with pro mangakas acting as your editors. So if you missed the first part of our program, I'm going to introduce our mangakas real quick. So the mentors on our team, we have Naoyazawa Sensei and Renesaya, who both have over 50 years of experience in the Japanese manga industry. And we also have webtoon artist Steph Pastrano and our latest and newest pro manga mentor, Vivi, who is a manga editor with over 10 years of experience, worked with Comics, the host of the largest international manga competition, the Silent Manga Edition, and Kadokawa, the publisher behind Bungo Stray Dogs and Lucky Stars. So it's been very exciting having Vivi on board to just act as an editor and give an editor's advice on our students' ongoing mangas, right? So it's been such a joy. Everyone has been so excited having an actual editor on board to learn from. So yeah, that could be you. If you join our program, you could also get a chance to not just learn from our amazing mentors, but also get a chance to go to Japan. Now, for the most committed and high performing students in the program, next year we're going to be sending them on an all expense paid trip to Japan to attend Comitia, which is the biggest comic convention in Tokyo. And at Comitia you actually get a chance to pitch your manga to actual Japanese publishers in person, right? And we'll be there to help you along the way. We'll be acting as translators to help you communicate with the publishers at Comitia, if you do manage to get to Comitia once you join our program. And you also be able to publish your work in our upcoming LTDM manga anthology. All right. Now, this is for you if you're excited and you're excited to learn about our amazing opportunities, amazing new opportunities in the program, then this program is for you. And this program is also for you if you're committed to making your own published manga. You have a unique story you want to share with the world, and you're done figuring this all out alone, and you're ready to learn from pro mangaka mentors, and you want to connect with fellow mangakas who seek consistency and empowerment, then apply now. Enrollment is open, and we only accept applicants who are 18 years old and above. So we're inviting you to be a part of this amazing community of aspiring mangakas in our program, and to learn directly from pro mentors with decades of experience in the Japanese manga industry, and just grow in a community of like-minded individuals and like-minded aspiring manga artists such as yourself. So yes, enrollment is open, and you can apply via this link in the description. So I'm going to be sending the link real quick